name is Helen. I'm the Diddy Stitcher. My pronouns are she, her. It is Thursday, the 2nd of March, 2023. It's grey today here in the northeast of England. It was very rainy yesterday, so glad we're not having rain anymore, but it's just kind of meh. But I'm loving my lighting. It's like bright meh. And I got a new stand for my ring light, so it's in a better position. I've shuffled my deck. We're gonna pull a card. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had the Seven of Swords. About sneakiness, thieviness. Don't think anything really came up for me. Let me know if it did for you. And this week we've got the Six of Swords. How weird. Okay. I can't remember off the top of my head. Gonna read my book. This card symbolises moving on after a loss. Support is present. Six of Swords indicate a time of transition. It may feel difficult. Perhaps you don't want to leave the old situation, or you're hurting and need time to mourn. Maybe you feel uncertain about what's up ahead. Whatever the case may be, you must trust the journey before you. You've learned so much from past events. The changes ahead will be for your highest good. For now, don't look back. Dry your eyes, gather your loved ones, and begin the trek into the new place. This card can also indicate a physical travel, especially around water. In some cases, it can mean exile, a time when you're being forced to leave a situation. Don't know. Let's put it here and think about that. Weird that it's like 2 sets in a row that have been like, well, that one's gone from 7 to 6. The other one went from, what was it, 8 to 9? I can't remember. Anyway, that's our little pull for the day. What I'm loving, I haven't written anything down. Apart from last night, Anna slept in her own bed all night. And it's probably the worst night's sleep that I've had in a while, because I kept looking at the clock and wondering when she was going to come through to us, because normally she comes through to our bed at some point in the night. We had to wake her up from her bed. And it was like, oh, I'm so proud of her. Like, she's going through some kind of developmental thing where she's like growing up. She's wanting to be a lot more independent, like stuff like she wants to dress herself and like sleeping in her own bed. What else did she do? Like, she's not been upset going to nursery. I don't know. That's like the thing with her being upset going into nursery. It's not that she doesn't want to be there, because she has a great time when she's there. It's just like the threshold bit of me handing her over to the nursery teacher. Don't know what it is. We've tried a lot of things, but this past 2 days, she's not cried, which is it's a breakthrough. So all of that kind of in this past week, it's like, oh, she's growing up, my little baby. So yeah, that's what I'm loving. Finishes, I don't have any finishes. Whips, everything's still in project bags, so there's gonna be zip and anything. Right, okay, so last video, I say week, but you know, I showed you this little magnet board thing with my whips on to help me pick what whip I would work on next. So I decided I would pull out my stocking, which is Dimensions Gold Collection Sleigh Ride at Dusk stocking. I have stitched this for Anna, my daughter. So I'd finished all the stitching and I put it away to do the back stitching another day. And I thought it was going to take me just a couple sessions. Just need to do the back stitching. It's not that big a deal. Oh, it's a big deal. This is a whole thing. So, let me just show you. So, I've done, oh, which way am I going? This bit. So this guy with his sled is done. All the houses are done. They're backstitch. There's French knots on the tree that I'm starting to do. Oh, this little snowman, I managed to backstitch him as well. You can't even see it from back here. But I'm going to get closer. And I don't know if you can hear me because it's going to... So, on this church here, around the doors, around the windows, there's like little French knots. I don't mind French knots. I know some people have an absolute hatred of French knots. I am not one of those people. I hated these French knots. I hated them. They are with like 3 strands of thread. So this is 16 count Aida, and it's already stitched and backstitched. So trying to get it through the holes is quite difficult. The way that it's charted, they're not in like thread holes. They're just like, oh, just do a smattering here. But you can't thread through the middle of a, you know, if you were doing a fractional stitch on Aida, you go through the middle of the square. You can't do that with 3 lengths of thread, pulling it through, doing the French knot, and then trying to put that back through the hole. So then, do you then go through a different hole? And then the French knot is like elongated? Sorry, I just had a work email. Yeah, it's not great. And the other thing I found out about the kit, the needles that they come with, they're like embroidery needles, like sharp needles, rather than tapestry needles, which is what I usually use, which are blunt needles. So I was like pricking myself all the time trying to push this through. So I swapped needles. It made it a little bit better, but still it was really hard to pull through. So I'm like pulling it out, making the knot, pushing it through. I have to like flip it over to like pull the needle through. I had to get my husband to pull it out a few times because it got stuck. I don't like this. I don't like the back stitching. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of back stitching, but I appreciate the look that it gives it. But this back stitching is just like, it's back stitching on top of or underneath backstitch that's couched in a different colour and a different number of threads, and I don't like it. I'm gonna finish it for my daughter, but the plan was to stitch another 2 for me and my husband. I ain't doing it. I can't do it. I can't do this again. The stitching was fine. I mean, it was difficult with all the do a full cross, do a half a cross, do this with different numbers of thread. But I can't with this back stitching and these French knots. And there's going to be something down here that I'm not going to enjoy either. I can't do this another 2 times. I can't. So this will be a gift to my daughter. And that will be it. I will keep the kits that I have for me and my husband in case I change my mind in the future. Never say never, but not right now. Or in case Anna has a partner, or kids of her own and she wants one the same, I will keep the kits just in case. But I'm fine with not having one of these. I'm quite happy not to stitch this again. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of like halfway through. Like this top bit is all stitched up to here. I started on the French knots just because I had some extra thread on my needle. But this is, now that I've got rid of the needles, I think the next time I pick this up, it will be better, because when I realised it was the needles that were especially annoying, the whole annoyance reduced by a good like 60%. It's still annoying in general, but when I pick it up again and I have the right needle, I think I'll be able to get through it faster. It's not gonna be just one more session as I had hoped, but I'm looking forward to finishing it and giving this project bag to a new start that I will hopefully love more, rather than just another stocking, because I will start to resent that. I'm starting to resent this one. I will finish it, and I will get it fully finished, because now I've decided not to do it for me and my husband. I can get this fully finished any way I want, and I will get a finishing service to do that for me, because I can't sew and whatever. But I won't have to worry that mine and my husband's won't finish the same, because they won't exist. So yeah, that was that. A little bit of fight. So that was Sleigh Ride at Dusk. Did I write down my plans last time? Not my plans for my whips. Maybe I hadn't decided, but I decided later that I would do my stocking. So I have 2 small pieces on like 6x6 Q snaps that I keep on my desk. So last 2 weeks I'd had Cosmic Dreams, and then for these past 2 weeks I've got Gather Here, which I haven't got the front cover in here, so I will put it in here. Gather Here by Hello by Liz Matthews. I'm going to take it off the Q snap because I'm kind like that, so you can see it all because it's moved around a little bit. And I got quite a bit done. So this is like a piece of band linen, like it's finished at the top and the bottom. I think it works out to about 25 count. I don't think it said how big it was, but I've counted each individual stitch and it does fit, and I've put it kind of in the middle. So it's 1/1 with 2 classic colourworks. Deep fennel is the words, this like green, blue-green. And then the deeper green for the leaves and the bird is Bejeweled. And I just love how they look together. Really nice stitching. So plan is, I don't know how big it will be, but like to finish the edges maybe with some doweling or something, and then have a hang something and put it on a little hook and just hang it on the wall like that. Maybe like in my hallway. But yeah, that is Gather Here. I had loads of this fabric and I like it for this, you know, project. It just fits nicely. But I didn't need any more of it, so that's some of the stuff that I destashed, which I'll talk about later. Yeah, so that is gather here. Next thing I worked on, because I got really annoyed with stocking, I put it away, but I still wanted to stitch on something, so I got this out. Sleeping Bee by The Blue Flower, that I'm sort of selling with Amy, Pearls and Ponderings, but we fell off that wagon very quickly. Because life. And I made quite a lot of progress. But I don't know what happened up here. This is the edge of the fabric. I think one of two or both happened. This is the wrong fabric. It's the right fabric, but it's the wrong piece of fabric. This is a 40 count Cafe au lait by Zweigart. And it's not, the piece is circular. So you would think you could just put it on a square piece of fabric. This is not a square piece of fabric. So I think I picked up the wrong piece of fabric. Then the second thing is I started in the middle, but it wasn't the middle of the pattern. I think I thought the middle was around here. No, I did it too high up. Like the middle is actually somewhere around here. And I thought it was here. I don't know how that works. Do you know what I mean? So there will be, I think there will be quite a chunk more left on the bottom because it's too high up. Or it will be similar to the top because it's the wrong piece of fabric. Anyway, I really like this. I wasn't liking it before, and I think it's literally because I hadn't stitched its eyes. So these bits here, this like darker grey and the white wasn't in, so the head looked a bit weird. And as soon as I stitched those eyes, I was like, oh, it's okay now. It's a happy bee. So yeah, apart from the edge situation, which I think will be fine because I'm planning on finishing this into a hoop and then getting a frame, like one of those, oh, I can't remember what the name of the shop is. I'll put the link down below to the shop that does like frames for hoops. Planning on getting one of those, but need to see what size hoop this fits into because I don't trust my maths on this one anymore. I'm just going to stitch it, find a hoop that works, find a frame that works for the hoop, you know. So it doesn't, as long as it's quite near the edge, like not, there won't be a whole lot to play with, but it'll go in a hoop. And I could based on a little bit of fabric there if I really needed to, for it to cling on to something. But yeah, but I got quite a bit done. Yeah, really like this one, and the way that I've done my working copy, I think like this is a page, so I'm just working like round this way, so I'm going to kind of go anti-clockwise for this page and then come onto this page and then go clockwise. I don't know what happened, but I mean, I've seen smaller margins on other people's who have messed up their start. Could be worse. could not have had enough at all. But I didn't, so it's okay. So that was Sleeping Bee. Then the next one that I worked on, again, just because I was pissed off with my stocking. Fancy to start. Well, it's already on my board, but I'll talk about that later. I want to start the things that are on my board. So this is Plum Street Samplers, Miss Lucian's School for Girls, Lesson 1. And I haven't found that there's a Lesson 2, but I'd appreciate if there was, because I love a series. So it says, trick or treat, stitches neat or prickly needles, stick your feet. And it's got this awesome, cool peacock, a little key, pumpkin, and a crow. And then these like little flecks all around. This I got at the retreat that I went to last year, and it was like in a £5 bin thing, and I think it's the cutest thing ever. So this was my start. This is 40 count. I can't remember the name of it. It's Northumberland House Sampler Company. Sandstone. That was it. And I just had a little start. This took a look. I mathed the hell out of this one after my issue with Sleeping Bee. Because it doesn't go right up to the edge. Like, this isn't the top of the pattern. It's like further along. There's stuff that's higher up, so I had to count and count and count. But love this little peacock. He's so freaking cute. I'm doing it 1/2, so you use very little floss. So I've just got like needles with bits of floss hanging off, because it's mostly this black grey, which I think I did a conversion. Oh, here it is. I did my little conversion just of what I had in stash that would work. So this is Gentle Arts Raven is like the black dark grey. Classic Colourworks Sea Oat is the this like cream up in here, and then I think it's only like there's a little motif right at the end that uses it, so I won't even use one strand of 1 yard of one skein. The orange is Pumpkin Pie, so that's in his little crest, and these little dots that are all around, this is like 4 little stitches of Pumpkin Pie, and then 1 stitch in the middle of Raven. So that will be the most used. And then there's a green, which again is just in the stripes of this peacock, and then there's a crown on top of the crow or the raven on the other end of the pattern, and that's the only time that's used. So yeah, lots of counting with this one to get those specks in the right place and such, but very cute. I'm liking this one a lot. It fills that criteria of simple yet challenging. I don't know, like you need to count, but it's only with 1 colour. If you're doing like all the words are just in Raven, so once I'm in the right place I can just stitch. So yeah, that is Plum Street Samplers Lesson 1. What else is in here? Oh yeah, Northumberland Sampler House 40 count sandstone. That was that little tag in there. So that was everything that I worked on in the last 2 weeks. Got some haul. So love a Facebook de-stash. My husband picked me up the Stitch Rovia Emma Kogan's cross stitch for the Earth. So I've completed my collection with cross stitch for the heart and cross stitch for the soul, which someone was selling. Very good condition. So I have that, and then I see that she's bringing out another one. So I'm going to need that, obviously. And then this person was also selling some little Mill Hills. Really cheap, the full kit. And they're fun just to have when you need to pick up something. For a trip or whatever. So yeah, that was just my little bit of haul. And plans. So last video I talked about my plans for my Lowry stand, to get another one for up here so I could do my like smaller projects and do my bigger projects downstairs in the living room where I've got a bit more space. So I've de-stashed a load of stuff, cross-stitch stuff, and some of Anna's old clothes, and I have made enough now to buy a Lowry stand. But I'm not buying a Lowry stand because I'm thrifty. I'm waiting for it to go on sale on Lovecrafts. So when their next little coupon, 20% off usually, which is quite a lot when you're buying a Lowry stand, I'll swipe one of those. But yeah, happy that I made that happen in a short space of time. What else? So let's get the board down and see what we got. So we stitched on lesson 1, so so I lied. Last night I got out my Mill Hill Christmas Village to start the next house on that. So this is upside down. I'm sure you can't read this, but that's why that's upside down. So that is what I'll be working on for the next 2 weeks. I don't know if it'll take me that long, but that will be my big focus piece for downstairs. Let's pick a small one. Let's do cross patch. Pixel Pixies. Ooh. We'll do cross patch as my kind of medium size one if I want to take it downstairs, or I get a Lowry between now and next time I see you. And then I'll put away Gather here and have Cosmic Dreams on my work desk to have a look at doing that. Cool. Yeah, let me write that down before I forget. I think that's all. It's March 2nd, but Dee did put out the learning for Stitch for Pride on the Google Sheet. So I will get to that as soon as I have some time. It's #Stitch Asia for March, but I don't think I have anything currently in my whips or anything in my stash that would apply. And I don't know that I want to start anything or get anything right now. So I might just do the learning and skip the stitching for this month. But that's okay. I've got plenty of other things to stitch on. So yeah, I think it's a short one today. Did I rattle through that too quick? I am gonna go have lunch with my mummy today. Yeah, I'm gonna do a bit more work and then head out on lunch. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.